Yo, welcome to Outdoors Brews and Barbecue. This is Carlos, your host. Already pre-serving some beer.
Yeah, you know it should be.
And like usual, co-host.
What up, y'all?
Hiram's back in the game. We had some coffee before coming in.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
That's right.
You are the coffee.
I am.
But we
I
do
am
have
naturally.
another returning guest.
What's up? It's Chris at The Wrong Kennedy on Instagram. Follow me, please.
The Wrong
Thank you.
Kennedy.
At The Wrong Kennedy.
Who's the right candidate?
There is no right Kennedy. I mean, that's a deeper question than time will allow for this
Okay.
podcast. But there is no right Kennedy.
We would have to
because
go through lineage and.
although the Kennedy that everybody thinks of, the reason that it's the wrong Kennedy is because all the Kennedys in that side of the family or whatever their lineage is, they all die of something strange, assassinations, brain tumors,
Yeah.
missing plane crashes where the body isn't found, so on and so forth. So that's why I always say, no, you got the wrong Kennedy. Like, I'm the poor Kennedy, that guy.
That ain't my side of the family.
All right, so the wrong candidate. I'll stick with that.
There you go.
Well, in today's episode, guys, I went back to one of our first breweries we brought up in this podcast back in 2022.
Yep.
Make that sound like it was a half a millennium.
Yeah. It was like a month ago.
Shit, it really was a month ago.
But I went back to Beat Culture Brewing Company right here in Miami. And I tasted, I think, like 11 different beers that weren't there the last time I was there. So they're always creative, some new stuff. And some of these names they come up with, and I don't know how tipsy they got to be to come up with some of these names, honestly.
I mean, you can do a lot of good things
Yeah.
or a lot of crazy things when you're drunk. So
I'm
That's
sure that's
crazy.
what happens. Everyone just has like a bunch of beers. It's like, what can we call this today?
Well, we're going to start off with a dry Irish stout, which typically I tend to hold stouts to the end, but I'm going to start off with this dry Irish stout today because it is the lowest APV beer we have in this episode. The name, though, I feel like all of us have that type of attitude at one point during the week.
mhm.
It's called Antisocial
Interesting.
Club,
That is my middle
the
name.
Antisocial Club Dry Irish Stout.
Which is kind of strange because Irish folk are not antisocial at all. They're like they're ready to like socialize. They want to. I mean, they want to get out there. I mean, I've been there. I know. I'm just saying.
I feel like they talk a shit ton.
The crack.
Well, the crack. There you go.
Damn.
Just for Irish slang, that is called when they say "hey, the crack." That means it was a good time. That's their way of saying that.
Oh,
So
I just
It's
wanna
also the way they talk.
Just to clarify, it's not the ass crack or
Yeah.
a different type of crack. All
It's
right.
not my
All right.
crack.
All right. All right. So for it being a Irish stout, as we can see, clearly is very freaking dark. Let me start pouring
All
y'all
right,
some beer and start handing it over.
it looks
You
like
got
coffee
It looks like coffee.
a little bit. Yep, definitely looks like coffee.
Parece cafecito.
It's like you're pouring cold brew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
It
look
might,
like a
it might
Cobra.
just taste like freaking cold brew too.
It's possible. A lot of stouts have that. Now,
Yeah.
what I was really shocked about was the APV on this. Because I was expecting a little bit more diesel
Jen.
gasoline. Hey, you know what? That's cool too.
Yours is coming that way, Chris.
Cool.
It's all good. We pouring here.
We try to fit
I
it all.
just don't
in.
want, to look like I took a shit on myself because this thing might stain my shorts black. Yeah. Now, I did get these filled up, which is also going to be another test to this beer is they don't have this pre-canned.
Oh, so
I
they
went,
canned them.
I went over
there?
there with the intention of getting a growler.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't have crowlers or growlers because the darn
Shit.
machine that makes the crowlers for the 32-ounce cans was broken.
Of course.
So I ended up getting 2 16-ounce cans.
Nice.
Better. Let me try my omagi. There we go.
Ooh, that's a
Better.
strong smell.
So you tell me what you smell, what you taste. I liked it a lot for it being such a smooth, light APV level dry Irish stout.
Interesting. All right, so right off the bat, it does not feel like a stout. It does not. It gives you more of an ale vibe.
Yeah.
That's
Like, I can feel the
That's
stout-
kind of what I felt when I tasted it.
It has a little more bitterness in like the back. But
Like the
but
aftertaste?
yeah, like compared to ale, like I could still kind of get the more stouty, but
Yeah.
I can see like it has like it's smoother like an ale.
So this, like, mind you, the last couple times that I've been on the podcast, we've had beers, like especially stouts, that were like, aged in bourbon barrels or something like that. So you're not going to get that nice sweetness from that bourbon, right? So you're not going to get that. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dry Irish stout. So I definitely sense the dry because of the bitterness. So you're not going to have like a full bodied like stout like you normally would.
Mm-hmm.
You're
It's
gonna
not
get
bad.
bodied.
It's not bad. Like, honestly, if you're looking for just a stout that's not going to probably fill you up, there you go. It's not
Yeah,
a
it's
bad.
not bad.
It's not
This is a
bad.
good starter for.
It's a
I
good
feel like this is a
starter.
good starter for a lot of people who've never had a stout.
Yep.
This
it's a
actually
good
wouldn't be a
place.
bad one to have.
It would be a good
Other
place
than a
to start.
Guinness, I'm gonna give someone a Guinness, but
I mean, you got to go with Guinness though.
I'm
Like,
gonna give
'cause
someone an Uncle Fluffernutter, bro.
that sounds like a derogatory move, or like
no,
that sounds like you're gonna take care of business. I'm gonna give you an Uncle Fluffer.
that's gonna be something right
Oy.
there. You know,
It's a stout. It's a stout.
It's a stout. I like that.
But Antisocial Club Dry Irish Stout is a beer marked by its intense roast character provided by a blend of roasted malts. Shed loads of flavors complemented by a light, easy drinking finish. The beer can be enjoyed on the seaside by the cliff of Moher in Ireland.
Hold on, somebody said a what now?
You got that
Uncle
right, son. I
Fluffernutter.
read the same shit and I thought about you, but I'm going to let you say what you got to say in a second. Enjoyed by the side of the cliff of Moher in Ireland or your favorite canal in Kendall.
Enjoy it at your favorite canal in Kendall. That's
En la sahuesera.
En la
La
sahuesera.
sahuesera.
When I saw that part, I had not read this description until now. So when I read Cliff and Moore, I was like, "Damn, Chris, this is all you, bro."
I'll be honest. I've been to the Cliffs of Moher, so I will say that I will not drink a beer there because you're probably holding on for dear life to not get blown off the cliff.
Yep.
And if you did do that, the beer would probably like splash all over your face. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when we
Challenge
was it that windy?
accepted.
we just have to anchor you to the ground with like concrete. Also, it's kind of depressing though, but like the suicide rate at the Cliffs of Moher is literally, I think it's like one person per day commits suicide there.
What the?
Damn.
There's no guardrail. You just fucking jump. There's nobody there to stop
Fucking
you.
depressed Irish
God
people, huh?
dang.
You literally just go jump and there's not a soul can stop you. And it's 500 feet in the air. Smack.
I believe I can fly.
Outdoors brews and barbecues, everyone.
Outdoors brews and barbecue. All right. But going back to this
Damn,
beer,
that's crazy. I didn't even know. Like, now you have me like. Well, that turns you on.
Whatever tickles your pickle, bro.
I don't know, bro. I think it's really smooth for a light stout. Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah, I was
Like, I'm already almost done with what you gave
to
me.
the extreme.
It does have, and for those of you who haven't had a stout out there and you're thinking about, we're making it sound like it's that smooth. If you haven't had a stout, taste it before you invest into a whole 6-pack because you may not like it. Right?
And stouts themselves, there's millions of different ones. You got your Imperials, you have your bourbon barrel stouts, you have all that. So, like me as a stout connoisseur, which I will glad, I'm gonna say that with the pinky up. I am a stout.
Right.
I'm a stout connoisseur. I love stouts. It's my favorite beer. There you go. Put the pinky up. Anyways, if you're gonna start with stouts, keep in mind one big thing: stouts fill you up quick. So make sure that when
They're
you pick,
really, really heavy.
Not
beers.
for me.
I mean, you are also a bottomless pit for alcohol. So I'm just.
I am the king of gullets.
the king. All right.
King
Oh, bro.
gullet.
So enjoy the rest of this beer. Again, this is from the brewery. All these beers that we're tasting in tonight's episode are all from the brewery Beat Cultures Brewing Company.
Beat Coulter.
We had them before, and they also had some great beers. I know that we had I believe we had one from them called Colada Racing Stout, which was another one of their stouts. That one was chosen by Hyro when we did that last episode.
Nice.
He just saw Colada at the beginning. He's like, "Yeah, you should try that one." And I was like, "Bro, this has nothing to do with my coffee I drink every day."
But see, that's what I was like. This sounds like the perfect coffee you should have every day.
But that one definitely felt a lot heavier than this one.
No, this is extremely light.
This is very light, very smooth for a stout. And I enjoyed it a lot when I went and I tasted it. So I was like, you know what? Let me take it back to the podcast. Why not?
Are we ready to give it a rating? Who wants to go first?
Jen.
Chen, what do you give it? That's fair.
That's fair.
3.25 from Chen.
So, all right. I'm gonna go a little bit uncharacteristic on this one.
You give it a 10?
No, not at all.
Damn.
I give it a 2.5.
Oof.
Okay.
And now I'm
Why?
just trying to be fair because I like stouts.
And you've had much better stuff.
I've had much better, right?
Okay.
I'd prefer Guinness to this. Just gonna be. I'm not calling it a bad beer. By no means, no insult directed at beat culture. But the
But
reason
Guinness is the standard.
Guinness is the standard because you know what you're gonna get every single time. That you know what you're gonna get. Now,
Love me my Guinness.
the thing about this, what I was disappointed in, number one, was probably the APV. The ABV. I'm sorry, whatever. Pardon me. It was only 4%, right? For a stout, I'm looking, even though Guinness is, pretty much around the same, I feel a little bit more full bodied with Guinness. I know exactly that I'm going to get, right? This was a little bit lighter than I was expecting, which can be palatable for other folks, right? For people that are maybe starting out or don't know about, stouts, so to speak.
If you don't know, now
you
you know.
You're right.
So I'm not going to say that it's a bad beer. I feel like that bitterness at the end. I would pick a Guinness over this any day, even though Guinness is so run of the mill. It's not a bad beer. It's not for me. That's all.
I feel like it's good to
I still finished it though.
to try it at like it when you're at the
brewery itself.
brewery, yeah.
Now,
Work have head, but like it sounds like one like to good like a taste, like have something different than a Guinness, so that you can judge it against the Guinness.
maybe if I paired it with like something like a roast beef sandwich or something like that. Like I feel something like this would have paired well with like
But a roast beef sandwich.
Man, now I want a roast beef with some horseradish, bro.
What was this place? There was this place in
You just
Coral
made yourself
Gables
hungry, bro.
that would have like a happy hour, and you'd have a free roast beef sandwich with every drink. I forgot the name of it. It was like this Irish place there. It's gone now.
John Martin's.
Yes.
John Martin's is coming back.
What?
Yeah, it's reopening soon. They have new owners.
Ah, I love that place.
I can't wait.
They used to have on, I forgot what day was it, but they'd have one day that free like a little roast beef sandwich with every drink, and I'd be like,
You're like, bro, food and drinks. You can't go wrong with that.
I mean, but this place, the brewery company that this is from B Culture, they have food there as well, and their food ain't bad.
Oh no, Karina's been there. Karina's been
their
there,
food's pretty damn
and she
good.
vouched for the food. So I mean, like I say, I'm not gonna knock it. I don't think it's a bad beer. It's just, I'd prefer a Guinness. That's
What
all.
I also love is that they're dog friendly, so I was having beers while the dog was
Also, you can
chilling
take
by
the
my
pop.
leg. So
Yeah, man. All right,
No.
all right.
oh, apparently they did reopen. This is Rachel. Rocks.
Oh damn! Hold on. So they're owned
But
by the
different
Wharf.
owners.
Oh no.
I like the Wharf, but I'm sure it's probably different.
Nah,
Different
chill.
vibes. It's not an Irish like.
So you know that thank you, Rachel. By the way, you know for sure that they raised the prices, and it's not going to be like the same chill vibe. Like when you go to John Martin's was like a watering hole, right? Like you go there and you know what you're going to get. Now I'm sure that everything's like fucking gourmet.
The ratings are out of 5.
Out of a 5. Yes.
Yeah. So it's out of a 5. That's why you get
Hold
like
on,
3.25. It's not a bad thing. 2.5, it's not super bad, but it's not great either.
You know what? I'll give it a 2.75.
2.75.
I'll give
I
it
was
that.
actually going to give you guys an update. Apparently, they updated the system on Untapped, and now it goes by tens.
What?
Shit, so
So
we
it
got to
can
redo our
be-
ratings now.
It can be
Nah,
like,
we'll
it can
keep it a
be
5.
3.10, it can be 3.20, 3.30.
No, I mean I'm not gonna get that technical.
Conchale.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah, they should have just left the shit at quarters.
yeah, for real.
No, no metric conversions up in here.
No.
buddy.
None of
that
Don't
shit.
complicate this shit more than it has to.
That's what I go by.
I'm
so
already
it's not
taking
too
my
hard
last
for me.
math class. I don't want to do that again. No. Anyways,
Anyways, bro, let's talk a little bit about.
Hold on.
oh, you got to give your
Oh,
rating.
we haven't given this shit a rating.
You got to
That's
give your
I
rating.
was like, what's your rating? I didn't give one either. I would just give it.
Chris, you
my-
gave it 2.5.
2.75.
You got a
Two and
3.25 from Chen. I
I
think
gave it a 3.25.
I'm at a 3 with it.
So am I.
Not bad, it's
I gave it a
a
flat
good
3.
beer.
Flat 3. All right.
a flat
Alright.
tree.
Flat tree. Not a horrible beer for a stout. I just, like Chris said, I felt like it was way too low on the APV. I also felt like it was, I guess we can say more watery than
Yeah.
your typical stout.
For sure.
I like to have that heavy feel when I'm having a stout.
Way less body.
and
Way less body.
there's barely no body on this stout, but yet the flavor is still. It's got a nice enough flavor that I would have this beer. Would I stock it in my fridge? Probably wouldn't.
Nope, not me.
Yeah,
If I
especially if
had-
you can get a Guinness. To be honest, like that's gonna be.
If I had
I'll
to
get
pair
the
this,
standard. That's
if I had to pair it to like a dish, a regular whatever dish that I can get anywhere here in Miami, I would probably have this beer with a medianoche.
una medianoche.
Ooh.
You know, a midnight.
I could see that
sandwich.
definitely.
If I had to pair it to a barbecue dish, that's a hard choice because I don't feel like I would probably pair this with any barbecue dish. But if I had to choose one,
Steak. No, not even.
not even that, bro. I think this is a hot dog burger.
Yeah.
that's fair.
You know, a
That's
simple barbecue
The simple
dish.
stuff you throw in something on the
Right, something you can
throw
get
in the
done in 5
wabi.
minutes, not something that you're going to be there monitoring for the next 35 to 40 minutes.
Fair enough.
You know, because you want to get it nicely smoked. Nah, this is a simple flip. You know, it's done. Go on.
Whop whop, yeah, eat that.
You know, but again, I'll give it a solid 3 out of 5. Not bad. You know, it's not like I'm giving it a 2.5, which is midway. I'm giving it a little bit over midway, but I want to keep it in the fridge.
All right. What else we got?
Well,
All right, what's next, Papo?
we can start off with beer number 2, and then we'll leave the national park part for halfway in between.
Sure.
But the next beer, we're jumping from an dry Irish stout to a single hopped IPA.
Okay.
All right. Jumping
Your
from
favorite, Chris.
your favorite type of beer, Chris.
I always volunteer for this. I don't know why,
No.
but I do.
This one is called the Chill Hop 9th version single hopped IPA.
Interesting.
So I guess this is their 9th edition of this one beer.
Same company.
Same company.
Interesting.
Also from Beat Culture Brewing Company.
They used to
should
have.
be these first two right here. Chill Hop.
Wait a
Perfect. That
minute.
one.
This is that's the place next to a hotel by the airport,
Yeah.
and they used to have
The
like.
hotel I would never stay at.
Well, yeah, it's like a Holiday Inn. No, it's like a Ramada or a
Shit
Days
look like
Inn
a
or
damn
something.
motel.
Like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
But in the beat culture, they used to have like an airplane cockpit as the entrance to the place. Like it looked like a like. the
Oh,
front
I
of
know
an
what place
airplane.
you're talking about.
You used to see it on the Passamanic
Yeah.
Airport.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about the 96 Squadron. That shit's
No,
still there.
They used to have it, but they took it out when they built beat culture. But 94th Air Squadron is still there.
94th Air Squadron still there, right?
It's French food. Not
They,
really.
they have
not-
a nice brunch though.
It's expensive, but it's fucking delicious. They
That
have, like,
brunch is
millions.
fine.
Really?
Yeah, we should definitely go there for brunch. Pinky up.
I'm
Oh.
down for that.
And then they also have this nice little wonderful airport headphones by the windows.
Yeah, you can listen to the air traffic controllers.
If you want to
Yeah.
listen to air traffic. If you're ever in Miami, you want to go to a
Epa,
brunch location.
epa.
Not that we're sponsored in any way by this place, but just thought I'd give you all a heads up.
mean, We should be.
We should be, right? It would be great.
Wink,
Also,
wink.
if you go to the 94th Air Squadron, the beer cheese soup is fantastic.
You lost me at soup, bro.
Beer cheese soup, bro.
Even beer cheese. You lost me at soup because I
Yeah, no.
only have soup when I'm dying on the bed.
But nah, I always
I guarantee you, this soup you would like.
like
Guarantee.
me a good soup.
Good
Oh,
soup.
yeah.
Una sopita.
With the
Sometimes
little,
she's like
with the
little-
little
little
oyster
soup.
crackers.
Me tengo que estar muriendo para una
Yes.
sopita.
Ooh, you can smell
Broccoli
it.
and cheddar.
Ooh, you can smell it.
It's nice
You
and
smell it?
danky for you.
Really nice
It's
and dank.
dank. Ooh.
That's so tiny.
Damn, they made you microscopic, bro.
Microscopic.
I'm a
Yeah.
sexy microscope.
Let's- Sexy
Yo, Chad.
microscope. A sexoscope.
Ooh. Oh.
All right.
Sexoscope.
So jumping from the antisocial, which clearly it sounds like we're not because we're just talking shit continuously here. We're not silent.
Mierda.
Chris's face. What do you feel? What do you got?
Hmm?
I know you don't like IPAs, so you're
This is actually not.
It's good.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
the smell
smooth.
gave you a whole different impression. though.
It's smooth.
What you
because
thinking
when
over
you
there,
smelled
Chen?
it, you were like, "What the fuck?"
Pop in
It's
your head.
smooth.
You were afraid this shit was gonna be like Hop Gun.
No, don't do that to me, bro. Like,
Whew.
I wouldn't even use that as mouthwash, bro. Like,
Damn.
Top Gun. Like, I'm sorry, I keep shitting on that poor company. What's the company that makes it? I forgot.
Funky Buddha.
I keep shitting all over that
I
beer.
bought
and
it
I'm so
last night.
sorry. Well,
Top
you
Gun.
Yeah,
you
That's
you
funny.
enjoy that, sir. You enjoy it.
I did.
But yeah, this is way better. This is a much better beer, dude.
Glad you enjoyed it.
This is actually for an IPA. This is single, right?
A single
Single
IPA,
hop.
which also
This
surprised me because I
Smooth.
thought I was reading the name as I was reading the menu and I was like, damn, this is probably gonna be hoppy as hell. But it is
No, it is
very
very
very smooth
smooth.
for a single IPA.
I like this. I like this a lot. I'm already saying I definitely would keep this in the fridge. Like this is like getting home from work, pulling one out of the fridge and just a quick little something with a little bite to it.
I also feel
Get
like
you
this
go-
is a great beer to go with a cheese platter. Have different cheeses, smoked
Fruit and
cheeses.
cheese.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about a charcuterie board?
Yeah,
Charcuterie.
get a charcuterie board full of different, 5, 6
Cheeses,
different
some meats.
cheeses.
Somewhere Karina's ears are ringing. Like, who said charcuterie board?
No, it really, really nice, smooth.
I'm sure a lot of the
single
listeners right now hear cheese and they're like, "What?"
cheese as in cheese to eat, not cheese as in cheese, man. Yeah, those are two different
But
things.
cheese
But
make it.
honestly, you know what? That's actually a really good pairing because they're like if you're eating like especially the way my wife makes her charcuterie boards, like you have little cheese, little honey, like crackers,
Ooh.
fruit, meat, things like that.
Mhm.
This would go perfect because it's light enough that because like when you're eating something like that, like you're not eating a full meal, you're eating something that's just meant to be a snack, right?
Right.
This goes really really well with that because like you were saying, like for example, like some nice cheddar or maybe some manchego, pinky up, some
Get
nice
fancy.
manchego if you know. Oh,
Wait,
hold
so
on,
like they want us to spell charcuterie.
charcuterie. Hold on, all right,
CHA.
CHARCUTERIE. I don't know if I spelled that right, but
I
I
thought you
think
were
I
gonna say the
think I'm
whole
pretty
fucking
close.
alphabet there, bro. I thought that shit was
Hey,
long.
spelling bee champ, son. Spelling bee champ. Years
2023.
kindergarten through 5th grade, son.
Come on,
Charcuterie board.
That's the real way to spell it.
that's the real
Yeah,
way.
charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board.
Charkeisha is what it's right.
Charkeisha, no.
Oh man.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it my rating. So
I'm
gonna
looking this beer up, so I'm about to rate it myself.
All right, guys. Here you go. So for this IPA, this is probably the number 2 best IPA that we've had, at least while I've been a guest on the podcast. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice 3.5.
Oh,
And that is now it is not as good as that IPA that we had from Unbranded. I forgot whatever the fuck it was called, but that shit was fucking gas. It was diesel. And it was freaking great. But this is a close second, 3.5 for sure.
okay. Got 3.5.
Not bad.
Chen, what you give this? All right, Chen gives it a 3.75.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh. All right.
almost a 4
Almost
for
a
him.
4.
So it's more like a 3.9. If we went that, but
I
All
can't even
right.
find this darn thing in. Oh, here we go. Number 1, number 3.
just put in Did you just put
Sarkeesian, no! Still one of the best videos ever made. No, Sarkeesian, no!
I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Okay, that's fair.
I felt it was very smooth for a single IPA. I haven't had a single IPA that I felt has been this smooth.
Yeah.
In a good minute.
I'm at a 4 with it.
And
You know?
for the first
And I'm
time,
not just copying you. I was like, I already had 4. And I was like, he said 4. Dang. It's like every time he said it, like,
you
I'm going
will
to say
never,
first so that
you will never catch me giving an IPA a better rating than a stout. But damn,
I got one today.
You got one today, bro.
for real, miracles do happen.
Well, we're finishing up this IPA. This super style IPA American badge that I just got here on our tap.
Nice.
Epa.
Let's talk a little bit about America.
America. Oh,
America.
no.
America, fuck
Oh,
yeah.
no.
America's got many wonderful national parks, and some locations across America are you can explore through nps.gov, which is the national parks website.
Mhm.
But there's also history,
A dark history.
dark history across America,
We're about to go deep.
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
We're about to get
Which-
emotional up in here.
which is also available on nps.gov. And as we were exploring today, I looked at Chris earlier and was like, Chris, pick a state. Let me see what I find in this state.
Iowa.
And what state did I say? Alabama.
Chris was like Alabama, and I was like, damn, I don't know of any fucking national parks in Alabama. Let me look this up.
I've been to a couple.
But national parks, NPS.gov doesn't only hold national park locations; it also holds national history
Right.
locations and historical sites.
So we're becoming the History Channel now.
Hey man, this is outdoors.
I love
all
this.
right?
No,
Outdoors, outdoors.
It's not a bad
All
thing.
right, so I went ahead and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go a little deep. I chose the Trail of Tears.
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay. So in high school, I took AP American History, and this was one of the research papers that I did. And I'll put it to this way: it is probably one of the most emotional things I've had to write in my life because it was a severe injustice. So for most of us, we grew up knowing that Indians were on reservations, right?
Right.
Indians don't pay taxes, like, you know what? I retract my statement. Not
Natives.
Indians, Native Americans, right? So Native Americans, they all live on reservations for this particular reason, right? The Trail of Tears was the removal of 5 tribes. They called them the 5 civilized tribes because these were the only tribes that would, communicate with the U.S. Army and not try to murder them, right? The reason that they call it the Trail of Tears is because over 60,000 people were forcibly removed from their ancestral lands. So we, or I guess America, could develop that land and then look for gold, materials. Now, mind you, the U.S. Army removed them by force, right? The Cherokee tribe, especially like, most people are familiar with that name, because of Jeep and all that. But the Cherokee tribe, out of all those tribes, was the most
It's one of the-
formidable, right? So what happened
One of
is
the highest populated tribes.
correct.
They did this too, also.
Correct. So, and the Cherokee were spread across multiple states, right? They had multiple settlements. So, what happened is that they would go in and they would say, look, we have an overwhelming force. We're going to move you to a safe land where you can cultivate the land and make it your own, right?
Mm.
It was a lie. It was a severe lie. They were made to believe that when they got to this land that they would be well cared for and that there would be provisions ready for them, fertile land. These poor people were forced onto, sometimes arid land, meaning arid that there was not land that they were used to.
And they're forced to walk it.
They
And
had to walk it.
They
That's
had
also
to
why-
walk it. So that is why it's called the Trail of Tears, is because grown men that, grew up their entire lives to be warriors were seen crying because
So it
they
wasn't
would
just the men. Also, it was
Men,
it
women,
was
children.
children, and Trail of Tears amazingly crosses so many different states.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right? And if I'm not mistaken, and I had to look this up to make sure I was not throwing false information into this conversation, right?
Yeah.
But the Trail of Tears consists of Alabama,
Yep.
Missouri,
Mhm.
Arkansas,
Mhm.
Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina.
Mhm.
So we're talking about thousands of miles
Correct.
that they were forced to walk between
Through the cold.
1838
Correct.
through almost 1840.
And the amount of dead, the
And
amount
the
of
amount
dead
of people that died in the process.
was insane
They were forced to walk by foot, by horse, by wagon,
at gunpoint.
at gunpoint. Some of them even were forced to move via steamboat,
Mhm.
right? Because they were probably on the shore areas of some of the states like North Carolina or Georgia that are right there on the seaboard as well.
Yep.
Maybe southern Arkansas.
And
Right.
the thing that bothered me the most out of all of it is a lot of their ancestral land, when it was dug up for resources, they would dig up Indian burial sites, where their ancestors were laid to rest so they could dig for gold or they could dig for iron, for iron ore, right? Because we needed it to fund a war, right? Because we needed, to build weapons, things like that. So if you really think about it, and they would, how would I put it? By modern society standards, people are like, oh yeah, I've heard some ignorant people say that, like, oh yeah, they got a fair deal because they don't have to pay
Oh my
taxes.
gosh.
Bro,
And I go, do you know what the poverty rate on Indian reservations is? It's almost 50%. That's insane.
Yeah.
50%. That means that half of the people that live on reservations are either wealthy or poor, right? That makes no sense, right? And it's because of that imbalance that, like, for example, when people go to, the hotels and casinos and
Mhm.
things like that, right? You're
but
directly
you
contributing
also have
to
to
that.
think about humanity, how and I'm not saying everybody, but most of the people nowadays just go by what they see.
Correct.
So you get to one of these resorts that's owned by a tribe. Let's put Seminole into the equation here.
Okay.
Completely separate from the tribes we're talking about in this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but they're local,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Let's relate to Seminole Hard Rock Casino.
Okay.
All four of us in this room been there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Tell me you don't see that casino and you think, damn, they must be making some serious dough.
Oh
Nope.
yeah, for sure.
You know?
So the reason that the Indian tribes tend to have casinos is because it's their way to make easy money, right?
Right.
And the fact that they don't have to pay taxes,
Mhm.
honestly, I'll tell you straight up with a straight face that if I go to an Indian casino, I have zero problem spending money there.
Yeah.
Simply because that I know that this is directly funding somebody, either their job or either the tribe itself. The Seminoles actually played it the smartest out of all of them. Why? Because they said, okay, you know what? Florida State University has to pay them a ridiculous amount of money per year to use their name.
To use their name.
And now we're in a world where, for example, the Washington Redskins no longer exist. Now
Mhm.
they're called the Washington Commanders. The
What a
Cleveland
dumbass
Indians,
name.
the Cleveland Indians are no longer called the Cleveland Indians. They're called the Cleveland Guardians. The Atlanta Braves were allowed to retain their name because it's not a derogatory name towards
But didn't they
Native
have to change the
American.
logo?
They did have to change the logo,
They did have
yes.
to change
So
the
they
logo.
still have the
Yeah.
tomahawk, but that's about it. Regardless, right? We live in a society where everybody is appropriating either somebody's culture or somebody's name or somebody's likeness. So I'll put it to you this way. I have zero problem going to an Indian reservation and actually playing at their casino or staying in their casino
Not at all.
because I know for a fact that, like, yes, this is the way that they make money and this is how they feed their people and this is how they at
It's
least
just like I
maintain
have
it.
zero situations going to a Indian reserve and being with the people, learning their culture, experiencing their type of foods, experiencing their type of methods of how to hunt for food,
Oh yes.
you know, experiencing their type of living because until you don't experience that type of living, you don't understand it. You just
Mhm.
see it from a outside's point of view. And all you think about is, oh, look how they make their teepees.
No,
You
like
know?
it's
And that's not how you can take a look at that, right? Because
Yeah.
now you're looking at it like an idiot.
yeah.
At least from their
What
perspective.
an idiot.
What an idiot.
Hold
No.
on. There's some notes here from Shorty Yami.
Amy.
I'm sorry, Shorty
Shorty
Amy.
Ami.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. The beer's starting to kick in, bro. Give me a break. So there's many reservations in New Mexico, and yes, that's very true.
Yep.
Yes.
They can't get yes, that's also a difficulty that a lot of Native Americans have is access to good education because teachers don't want to teach in the schools because they don't get paid enough or enough to their standards, if you will. And then running water, electricity, and COVID. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Here's the curse of not having to pay taxes is that the U.S. government washes their hands a lot of the time. They say, you know what? They don't have to pay taxes, so they should be okay. That's bullshit. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. When you have a 50% poverty rate on most reservations, I'm sorry. The U.S. government has the power to step in, but we don't. I hate to say, I'm sorry, I'm not a part of the government. Our government does not. If you really wanted
Nice
to,
rephrasing.
if you really wanted to show some fortitude,
Chris is the government. Get him for his money.
vote Chris Kennedy for president.
Oh!
2024.
He's calling it now. He's
Vote
calling it
for
now.
me. Vote for me. Please don't assassinate me. Please don't.
We don't need
Well,
another
You
Kennedy
went the whole
assassin.
direction real quick.
But no. Regardless, man. Just to end my thought is I definitely think especially after knowing what I know and seeing what I've seen, I definitely think we should have a more healthy respect for Native American culture and not just look at them and say, oh, well, they're Indians, they don't pay taxes, and good for them. It's not just that. It's that
Mhm.
they have been through 10 times more hardships than our society will ever see. Murder, murder,
Pillaging of their land.
pillaging of their
basically.
land, stealing,
Right.
digging up their ancestors. I can think of nothing more disrespectful. And you know what? And our society now is built upon the bones of those choices. And I'll leave you with that.
Got a history
I'm gonna
teacher
say
in
it's
the
like
room,
if we ever go to Hard Rock, you're gonna lend me some money. I like how he stopped. He was like, huh? Oh, damn it.
bro. He's like, oh,
We can
I'm
just-
kidding. I'm kidding. You
we-
know I'm joking. I'm not gonna.
In the words of one of our supervisors at work, we can discuss this offline.
oof, oof. All right, I'll roll off that. But
Put
again,
1,000 on
if you
black
guys
on
are
Chris.
you guys are ever interested in looking a little bit deeper into the history, definitely look at the link that's going to be on this podcast subnotes because it takes you straight to this park, specifically around the trail tiers. And if you guys are ever up in D.C. in Washington D.C., there is a wonderful Native American museum
Oh, yes.
that was opened up not that long ago before COVID, which gives you deep insight into some Native American history.
Correct.
Right. But moving on, I'm thirsty, so
Beer.
chug what's remaining here,
Always thirsty.
and then we're gonna
Beer,
move to a whole different beer with a whacked out name. When I read the name, I only ordered it because of the name, and then I tasted it, and I actually liked it.
Really? All right, what do we got? What do we got? What's it called?
Yup.
Oh,
Yo.
Yup.
is that what I think it is?
This one is called El Churro.
Ooh,
El Churro Dulce de Leche Brown Ale.
let's do this.
I heard it and I thought the worst thing.
Wait, hold on.
Because I didn't think churro for something. I thought like churro.
What do you? Hold on, espérate. In Dominican culture, what does el churro mean?
Well, churro could be a little bit of churro. Could also be, you got diarrhea. Homie. So when I first read it for a moment, I'm like, what? Why would I want to drink
thought we were
that?
gonna have the runs.
So basically, what you're saying is mud butt.
Not
Yo.
mud, but like, you full on
Oh,
diarrhea.
man.
his watch started searching.
Hands
mud butt.
watch just found mud butt.
It's got a wonderful brown tone to it.
How is it, Rachel? Is it really good?
Rachel's apparently had this beer.
Oh, okay, cool, Rachel.
I'm gonna hand this to Chris over here, and then we're gonna put one by the camera
Rachel's not answering. Rachel's upset at me.
with his cup.
Ooh, the smell.
The smell was the first thing that caught my attention.
The smell's sweet.
I almost said caught my eye, but smell don't
Smells like
catch.
churro. Chen.
Oh man,
Interesting.
what do you think, Chris?
I make
Well,
sure.
Rachel said she didn't like it. So, you know,
I mean, she whacked.
chill, bro. Don't call our listeners whack. They're like that. Don't be
We
disrespectful.
gotta throw our
I'm
listeners under the bus,
kidding.
bro.
Disrespecting like that, bro. You know, I'll be honest with you. What type of ale is this classified as?
It's a
Or
brown.
ale.
a brown ale? Really?
Yep. Chen, you got right. Howard, you got a can.
Of course, I got
My-
a can. I'm holding the can like I don't know if you're gonna still serve anyone, so I'm just holding it
It
like.
tastes like
I got about a third of a can over here remaining.
it does not taste like a brown ale. That's
Are
number
you good?
one.
I'm gonna drink from there, and I'm probably gonna have the rest of that 1/3,
It
Cheers.
tastes like a flat stout.
like a flat stout.
Like it went flat. Like flat. Now I'm not saying your can went flat. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that like it tastes like it tastes like a sweet stout that went flat.
Yeah, it is flat, but I think it's more about the spices that it has. It's very spiced up, but I don't get like a churro feel.
I don't get the churro feel.
If
Yes.
Coke was a beer,
That's actually fair.
yeah,
That's
like
actually not-
Coca-Cola.
I mean,
Let's
I'm
get
gonna
that
go
right.
with this description, which is a take on a state fair classic snack, brewed with a sweet dulce de leche and notes of some warmth.
I guess I could have a little bit of the dulce de leche, but like a bit of the taste, but not much.
No. Wow, damn.
Black Coke beer.
That's what he said.
It
So
reminds me
that'll
of
just
just
give
like
you
some
Coke with-
spices, and I'm trying to figure out what spices, but like I guess I could taste like more of like
It's
the
got
cinnamon.
like sweet cinnamon spices.
Not I don't taste the sweet. I
I
taste
don't
like
either.
more of like
I don't either.
like raw cinnamon. Like someone just scratched raw cinnamon. That's
Yeah.
what that's like, or like just like.
So I'm gonna hate to say this. I don't like knocking beer companies. I don't like doing it.
No,
But
I knock on anything.
I'm gonna have to knock on it a little bit because the artwork on the can is extremely deceptive into what the actual beer tastes like. I was expecting, when you eat churros, you're expecting, in real life, fried. You're
a
expecting
bit of sweetness.
a bit of sweetness because of the sugar that it's
Not a
coated
lot,
in.
just a bit.
And if you go to La Palma on 8th Street,
Ooh.
they serve it with hot chocolate, so you can dip it in the hot chocolate.
Damn.
So I was expecting
Hot chocolate or Nutella?
no hot chocolate, fresh hot chocolate. Anyways,
Hot
I
chocolate.
was expecting
A chocolate.
a more sweet and more full bodied beer, and what I got was a little bit more flat than I was expecting.
Here's a bunch of cinnamon.
I'll put it to you this way. I preferred the first stout that we had over this.
Sorry, bro. We're gonna close the episode with a great beer you're gonna love.
Okay, no, I'm not knocking the
You
brewery.
You say that, but I might hate it.
You're right. You might hate it, or you might love it.
but I'm gonna go ahead and give it my rating now.
Go for it. What are you gonna give it?
A 2.
Damn.
Oof,
All
oof,
right.
oof.
A 2.
We dropped even more.
It is not the worst beer I've ever had. It's just that when you see something that is advertised,
Yeah,
El
it
Churro,
changes the for me. It changes the rating.
I'll
'cause-
put it this way: and like I said, this is not a knock against beat culture. You know, I'm sure you guys have wonderful beer, but the label on the can does not befit the
Yeah.
beer that
The
you are
drawing.
serving.
I'm expecting churros.
I'm
and
sorry, guys.
all I had
The
is like
artwork was
raw
deceptive.
cinnamon in my mouth. Chen, what you give it? Chen gives it a 3. A little too strong.
What's the APV on this?
7%.
Nah, that's they could.
It doesn't make up for it. I'm sorry.
Coke syrup or Pepsi?
I can see
syrup?
what they were trying for. Like I can,
Yeah,
but
I was expecting, even on a brown ale. Brown ales, like, have you ever had Newcastle?
Yeah.
So Newcastle is a light brown ale that.
have I had Newcastle?
You
Okay,
can ask
we
that
know-
question in this podcast,
we
bro.
know that you've had it. We
That's
know.
actually one of my not dailies. I don't have it all the time, but like have in the fridge, grab a bottle.
I'll put it this way: I can walk into Total Wine and throw a dodgeball and hit something, and I know that you've probably tried whatever I hit. I'm saying, there you go. Anyways,
You right.
so I digress.
Even with wine.
I mean, yeah, there you go. I expected a little bit more out of it, to be honest with you, with a can this epically designed, and it was really cool, the label. I was expecting just to feel a little bit more of that actual churro taste, in the sense of like,
That's what I was expecting.
give me like a little bit more doughy. Give me a little, I hate to say this, give me a little bit more head on the beer itself. Like, I mean, no pun intended, but like, the reality is that like, I was expecting like a nice thick foam on top, and
Hey,
and,
Bobby.
and we didn't get that. We didn't get that. It just went. The foam disappeared within a second of you pouring it. I'm just saying, maybe it was a bad pour on the cans or something like that. I don't know. Were these fresh cans or like?
No, these were already pre-assembled cans. These are cans
Okay.
they actually had made to like
maybe it tastes different directly from the keg. I could be wrong. Maybe what we're feeling,
sell. Which is
not,
probably
but
what I fear too, because I tasted it directly from the keg when I was there. They gave me the samples and it was all draft. There was nothing that was given to me out of a can. So it made
Did it
it
taste
taste
different?
differently.
it's
Did it
like
taste differently?
yeah, it's just like what Chen said. It tastes like Coke. That's it.
The only thing I like about this beer,
It
honestly,
tastes
off the
like
bat,
brown ale that someone threw a
is
bunch of
if
raw
I-
cinnamon into it.
if I needed to have a beer drinking competition, I can probably chug this cup easily.
Well, in a heartbeat. This is
Yeah.
easy. Like, there's no bite
Yeah.
to it.
There's no bite to this at all.
Wait,
It's
hold on.
super smooth.
Somebody said eggplant emoji. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know who Josh is, but cool. Anyways,
Oh, I
continue.
know who that is.
Wait, is that Josh?
Which Josh?
Like our old boss, Josh?
No.
No.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No.
If that was, I'd be like, "Hi, Josh."
no. That would have been funny as fuck though if he was the one sending that.
No, we would have gotten a text message, be like, "I need to speak to you guys right now."
Oh
There you
man,
go.
he actually texted me recently.
I hope he's doing
Yeah.
well. He's a nice guy.
He was a good person.
Yes, yes.
Good man.
He still is.
Still is.
There you go.
Huh?
All right,
Careful
John-
with that wording.
Yeah. Let me continue drinking.
All right, gentlemen.
So
You gave it a 2. Chen, you gave it a 3.
Chen gave it a 3.
What do you give this, Hyro?
I'm giving it like a 2.25.
2.25.
Yeah,
2.25.
2.25. Like it's
Fuck,
like
bro. I feel sorry to say, but I think I'm not that far behind with you guys having this thing out of a can. I think I'm gonna give it like a 2.5, 2.75.
2.5. Which one do you stick by? 2.5 or 2.75?
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
2.5.
Give it a 2.5 because I feel like this is a beer that I can, like I said, if I was having a beer drinking competition with you and we got to chug it,
You said from the draft it was.
it was sweeter. It had a sweeter note to it.
So some beers you can only have in a draft. So
So you know what? There's a real possibility. Do these have a pour date on them? Like when they were actually added to the can? No.
Now you're being real
Nope.
sophisticated here in detail.
Some
I
some
don't
breweries do it.
see-
Some breweries mark their cans.
I don't see a
No.
pour date. Pour date probably in the bottom.
So
Canned
Oh, yeah.
on September 12th
of last year.
of last year.
So that so
that
you know
right
what?
there is probably a huge effect.
That's your explanation right there. Like these were in the case for a long
4
time.
months practically.
So you know what?
3 months.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that like what our ratings were probably unfair. That's probably why we're getting the flat taste to it.
Yeah,
Is because it
that's-
was sitting there for so long.
That's what I'm saying. You know, taste it from the brewery, see how it tastes from there. So at least from the can, we're not getting that fire.
correct.
But
So-
it could be when you go to B Culture. If you ever come down to Miami, hit up B Culture.
You can
Try this in there. It probably tastes a lot better than what we're saying.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I'm gonna stick at my 2.5. What you give it, Hyro?
2.25.
You gave it 2.25.
I gave it 2.
But if I ever go to B Culture and taste it, and if it goes better, it might rise up, and I'll bring it up in another show.
This shit's called a churro. Just making sure.
Un
Yeah,
churro.
here it is. A churro. All right. 7% APV. I'm giving it a flat 2.5, 2.5.
For those of you who don't know, the reason if beer sits for a very long time, it tends to remove some of the taste from it. It tastes flat. It's not like liquor, like hard liquor. If you can leave hard liquor in for years and wine for years, and it's still
The
okay.
complete opposite.
But beer is completely the same. Completely different opposite of it. So
You guys didn't taste any cinnamon in there at all?
not at all.
I did.
Not in
I
mine.
just said it tastes like raw cinnamon.
It tasted. I'll put it this way: it tastes like a Coke that was dissolved into a beer somehow, and like that's what I was. That's what we were given. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that my rating was unfair because it was sitting in that fridge for so long. So I'm gonna more than 100% confident that like if we tasted it fresh from the keg, that it's gonna taste different for sure.
Most likely.
All right. I'm going to agree with all that. I'm going to chug whatever I have left here.
Chug a lug, chug a lug.
Chugga, 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 chugga,
Choo
choo, choo.
choo.
Mm.
All right.
So, what do we got next?
There's still some left here if you want, bro.
No, I'm good.
I ain't having no more.
I'm Gucci.
Pásamelo.
Pásame la botella.
En este caso, la lata.
La lata.
La lata.
All right. So,
La lata. La lata. This
what do we got coming up now?
is the
Last but not
one.
least, this is the last beer of the evening. They call this the day drinker.
The day drinker.
It's me.
So they should just change it to Heidel.
Yeah.
The day
The
drinker
Heidel.
is a Belgian triple.
Interesting.
Ooh, and it's a
Nice.
Yes, that's why I left this one for last.
Nice.
You know, Daddy loves triples.
Oy.
Hey,
I'm so hungry, dude.
Earlier we were talking about subrageous and stuff. Ooh.
Oh my god, dude.
you need to go get a triple cheeseburger.
Nah, no triple, bro.
Wendy's, Pablo. Ooh.
Nah,
That triple baconator.
I can't do that, bro. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack just looking at it.
That's what I call the triple. I literally call it the heart attack. I'm like,
No,
no.
no,
And I get chilly with it.
Yo, that's the heart
That's
attack.
my thing. I
And
get the triple and I get chili.
the-
A
And
small,
then-
a small
the heart
chili, not a
attack,
large, but a small chili.
triple
But
deconstipator.
and then don't. And hold on, let me guess. After you get the fries and you get the chili and then the triple burger, the baconator, and then you get a frosty.
No, Bobble, you can't say it didn't.
nah.
have no head.
I don't get a frosty. You know,
Okay.
I'm fairly.
You can't say I didn't have no head.
I do get a 4-piece, and I get the spicy chicken nuggets.
Bro, if I'm gonna go to Wendy's, I'm gonna stick to my spicy chicken sandwich.
I'm gonna say
That's actually normally what I get, a spicy chicken sandwich. But when I'm hungry,
we hungry.
because I can't order a triple chicken sandwich.
I'm
I
gonna-
would if I could, but
You know you can. You just have to ask for an extra patty.
are you serious?
An extra
Should.
Yeah, dude. There's nothing stopping you from asking for an extra chicken patty.
That'd be expensive as hell.
Of course it would be, but still,
Hell
like,
no, I'm not trying to be broke either.
just like when they were doing the Big Mac with chicken, the chicken Mac, you can still ask for that if you
Chicken
want
Mac.
to.
What the fuck is that?
You never had a chicken Mac before?
Never had a chicken back.
All right, real quick. So, if you go to McDonald's, right, there's two substitutions for the Big Mac.
A lot of head, bro.
Tremendo. So there's two substitutions for the Big Mac that you can ask for, right? One is called the McKinley Mac. Obviously, don't ask that for that in Hialeah because they're gonna be like a McKinley Mac. ¿Qué es eso? So a McKinley Mac is basically instead of the regular patties, you can ask for quarter pounder patties. Right?
Really?
Yes, you're gonna pay a couple bucks extra, but it's cool. It's a big thick burger. Oy.
Okay, yeah, y'all on chat right now. Y'all
Now-
listening to us on podcast, YouTube, Twitch. Y'all hear this?
Yes.
This is the information you need in
All
life
right,
right now.
and now I'm gonna enrich your life just a little bit more. You can ask for a chicken Big Mac. So a
shaking his head.
Chicken Big Mac, bro.
So a chicken Big Mac is as follows. You can ask.
Is that a side effect of the beer, or is that because you thinking about chicken Big Mac?
Okay. That's good. You can ask
Maybe too strong for
for
him.
Too
instead of
strong
beef
for you, bro. I can see it.
instead of beef patties, you can ask for McChicken patties as the patties of what you're having in the meat. So that is called the McChicken Mac, right? So you can have that, right? And I'll put it to this
How
way.
the fuck did we get to this conversation?
I don't know how we got here.
We're talking about food, eating.
Only
and
thing
then
I'm gonna
triple.
say, the only thing I'm gonna say is if you do it, ask for no pickles. That's all.
Hell no. I love pickles. I'll fight you.
Oy.
Ay.
Hey, hold up. Not in that way, okay? Porata, ¿qué esta vaina?
What's wrong with this beer, bro? Chen gave me a reaction. You gave me a reaction. What's wrong with this beer?
Feet.
It's right, bro. That's why I was giving you the face. It smells like a fart, bro.
What a fart! I didn't even say
It smells like
feet, but they.
it smells, bro. It smells like somebody went up to the can and ripped one and then poured the beer in there.
Did we even say the name of this before we
What the
even
fuck is it called?
Yeah, we did.
It's
Day
called-
drinker.
Day
Drinker Belgian Triple.
The guy who canned these beers was probably drinking during the day, bro. Fuck.
Smell wise. What about taste wise?
I think you need to take a sip.
Bro, why the fuck did this shit taste so good when I had it off tap?
Do you know what it
Probably
tastes
you were
like?
drunk already.
Hold on. You know what I'm gonna say?
You know
it
what? A
tastes
lot
like?
of things like
This
tap
was the
could be
one beer
different.
that I asked you for a whole cup of when I was
It
there.
tastes like
Take a
banana.
sip. See,
It tastes like banana.
one banana.
Esto sabe a mierda, bro.
Is that what you tasted?
Not what I tasted at the brewery.
God
Bro,
dang.
what's the bottling date on this shit, bro? Look at the bottom of the can.
Well, he
this-
got it. This
was a crowler they gave me that day.
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck happened, brother, but it definitely is not. You said I would love this, but I'm sorry, I do not.
Okay, I feel like.
All right,
I feel like we shouldn't give this a judgment.
I'm not
going
gonna
to
give this a number.
because, like
Maybe-
you said,
I'm
you
gonna go
enjoyed
back.
it.
I'm gonna go back to the brewery.
So Chen almost died trying to sip it.
Somebody, hey, CPR, give him CPR. Say, don't die on me. Don't you die on me.
Your boy just got a stomach virus right now trying to take another sip.
Yo, if he calls out tomorrow, we know what happened.
Damn.
That's there.
Shit.
Actually, I call a call. We're not calling this beer
We're
for
not
any
giving
numbers.
this beer a number.
We're not giving it a number because no.
Yeah.
Okay, look, you said it tasted good. I feel like something happened in between them bottling them
Yeah, dude.
and selling it.
I'm off on Friday, bro. I'm gonna go back to the brewery.
You should be like, hey, look, here's
off
my
Friday.
podcast. All these beers were ass. Like, can I get a repour, please? Some shit.
Damn, bro. I had a whole cup of this shit and it was
Hold on. The description says notes of bubblegum, banana, and clove. It does kind of sound.
But it can be delicious. Remember, they can say all those things, but it could turn into like a
Hold on.
banana bubble gum.
If somebody gave you banana bubblegum, would you really be happy? No.
I think like a now later that's chewy. There's banana now laters.
Nobody eats an hour laters.
I do, bro.
Well, you do, but I don't.
That's because we old enough to know what now laters are, bro.
Now or
You
laters
ask
were-
a kid nowadays what the hell's an now later, they don't know.
I don't know because you can't find that shit.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Party City.
Body City.
It's the only place I was able to find
This tastes like
Light
Now,
pops.
I did read the cloves. I just thought about clove cigarettes for a moment because that, like, I'm not a cigarette smoker, but yo, cloves. I used to smoke because I used to like.
I feel like this is one of those that you get a completely different deception
Yeah,
off of
yeah. Chad
having
knows what's
draft versus getting bottled or canned.
I mean, I think
Life is terrible for
I
us.
think they need to speak with the cannery and be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?"
It
Like,
can be. This is why we're gonna retake this because I don't know. Because now I really want to taste like some of these beers that we had here.
I think we should go
I think
to the
tasted
brewery.
better
When
while
I
I was
went
at the
and I
brewery.
tasted this shit, I had not even had breakfast, so I was.
I think we should go to the brewery and do the podcast from the brewery.
No,
and
but
be
that'll make
like,
it worse.
"All right,
Because
we're
if you
coming
hadn't had
live."
breakfast, you drink this, and if you don't like it, you're gonna be like, ugh.
Well, I did like it. That's why I fucking brought it.
That's why I'm
Like,
thinking. I was like,
I'll put it to
okay,
you this
something's
way.
definitely going on.
And this is gonna be really mean, but
That's why I made a call.
I'm about to say mean because, fuck, I'm gonna do it. I prefer a natty ice over this.
Okay,
God damn.
executive call. This beer,
It's
I
not
feel
being
like
rated.
this is gonna be put on the sideline until we taste it again.
It's like I'm not volunteering for this shit again, bro. Hold on, Rachel wants
Rachel,
to
you
know
want to fight?
what is the 11th beer you drank?
I don't fucking remember.
There's that
Sarkeesian,
Sharkeisha.
no.
Sharkeisha still up there punching.
She was going through the whole menu, I'm guessing, online, because their menu is online.
Yeah, it definitely, the notes, I do taste the bubblegum notes. Like, it tastes like banana.
It tastes like bubblegum
The
you
banana-
chewed for a very,
banana's in
very
there for
long
sure.
time, and it just turned into rubber.
And it definitely
tastes
smells like ass. Like, it smells like... Wait,
I love it. I love it. I love ass, but this is not
Chin's
the
like,
ass I want to
love
eat.
ass.
Shit fucking tastes like tire with banana.
It just, like, I'll put it this way, like, wait, I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
I'll say it. What do you want to say?
But, like, you know what? I don't eat ass. But, like, I would rather...
I just said yo, I'll eat ass, but this is not the ass I'd want to eat.
I'll put it this way. I don't eat ass, but I'd rather eat ass than drink this beer.
Don't drink it, bro. Don't drink it.
My wife is listening to this somewhere. She's
Rachel, stop trying to be logical.
my wife's listening to this somewhere. She's gonna be like,
We are
"Fuck you."
illogical here. This is why we're gonna try it again
Day
logically
drinker.
and have it the first beer that we try,
That's fine. I'll start
and then
off
we'll
with
come
it.
back the next show and then give it like
You know what they no longer had, which I was disappointed? Their
Mm.
guava mead.
your boy loves mead.
There's
First
even
time-
a song that I listen to when I'm drinking mead.
I
It's
love
called
mead.
"Wenches and Mead" by Ailstorm.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
want more wenches and mead. Lots of
They
wenches is
had
what I
a
need.
great guava mead the first time I went there, and it was fucking fabulous. The shit
Shit.
was 14% APV.
My God, you could run a car with that, bro.
It was, and it
It
tasted
sounds
great.
like love.
It
But
sounds like
this completely disappointed me on the second round.
Okay, I'm trying to give them a second chance because I feel like
Okay.
everything
I'm done
the
with
way
it.
you said they were supposed to taste, they tasted flatter than what you thought.
I definitely think there's something
So
wrong
I
with
think
their canning
something's going on with
process.
like the carbonation. Something
Yeah.
definitely went wrong.
I agree.
I also think it might have been the bartender. He looked like he came off Planet Krypton.
When you say Planet Krypton, like
Superman?
was he smoking the Crippy?
He may have been before I got there. I was literally the first customer who came in through the door at 12 noon with the dog as
Wait,
they
wa-
opened up.
Was Natty with you?
No, she was at work.
So the bartender was probably like not having a good day or he didn't pour it properly. I don't fucking know, but
Yeah, bro.
We'll try it again.
We'll try it again.
fair
Let's see
enough.
how it goes.
Anyways,
Do over.
So this
Do
one
over.
is not going to get a rating from anyone, even though everyone gave their
Yeah.
opinion. We're going to try this again. Actually, I feel like I'm going to try all of these again while I'm at the place just to see how it tastes like.
They better have nachos.
they do.
They better have nachos.
They better.
They
I
got
don't need food.
pork
I just
burnt
need
ends.
beers.
Wait, you said pork Brentons? Fuck yeah, let's go.
It tastes real good.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, that is it for Outdoors Brews and Barbecue on this episode, guys.
No, it's not.
No?
No.
What you got?
Nothing.
Shut up.
That's that beer effect.
I definitely.
He said
All I
fart.
gotta say is,
He said
I feel
fart
like
beer.
even though we just gave all these beers a score, I feel like we have to taste these again because
Yeah,
I feel
think
like
it's fair.
your sense of beer is not bad, and you had a good sense of most of these beers that you got, and I felt like they didn't have the flavors that
They
you
didn't
had
have the
when you
flavors
taste
that
them.
No.
So I feel like we need to taste these again. Like we need to have them again and see how they taste like
Let's do it.
directly from the brewery.
Let's do it.
So yeah,
willing to
here
do that.
this is a redo called by Hyro.
We do. We just ain't talking about Trail of Tears in the next episode.
No,
Yeah,
no.
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 Anyways, guys, like we have mentioned, that is it for this episode. Until the next one. Later.
Peace.
Peace.